Well, it's Monday, so grab the coffee, but what you're really going to need today is water. We're dealing with a heat advisory and pushing towards 100 degrees.
Yep, we're going to go straight out to Ed now, who's in the 9 News backyard, and pretty mild temperatures overnight, Ed.
Yeah, really very mild temperatures. We're in the 70s overnight. We're in the 70s right now. Very mild out here in the backyard. A little bit of cloud cover, and we're going for 101 today. Let's go outside, take a look, and you can see a little bit of sunshine right there. We're down to 72 degrees right now. Humidity up to 44%. We do have a heat advisory today for the shaded area that you see. That includes the greater metro area, 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. today. That's just about all day long for hot temperatures, highs reaching 105 degrees. We'll see 101 in Denver today officially with an isolated storm possible. Scattered storm tomorrow and 96. 92 on Wednesday. That's a little more seasonal since the normal high is 91, but it does not last long as the heat roars back on Thursday. 97 degrees and near 100 by your Friday.
Ed, thank you. This morning, Denver police are looking for these two kids, Ariana Britton, age 11, and Mia White, age 10. They were last seen in the area of 16th and California Street in Lodo. Ariana was last seen in a black shirt, black and white shorts, and white shoes. Mia was last seen in a blue jacket, blue jeans, and blue shoes. If you see either of them, you're asked to call 720-913-2000.
Well, this morning continued cleanup efforts after a fatal flood in Larimer County. 2 people were killed, a woman and a girl who were in a camp trailer that got swept away. 9 News reporter Jordan Chavez joins us. And Jordan, it's a sad story, but mitigation work beforehand did save a lot of homes.
It really did, Corey and Gary, and thank goodness too, because those floods were strong enough to wash away roads as well as many bridges there in Larimer County. And these powerful events are to be expected, of course, after a wildfire like the Cameron Peak fire back in 2020. That's why soon after, Larimer County started mitigation efforts to reduce any of this damage that we're seeing. Now, one thing Larimer County did was install sandbags around homes in Big Thompson Canyon. Just a few months ago, the county says they placed them around homes in the retreat area that's just before Glen Haven. And without them, many more homes could have been damaged, or even worse, they could have been lost. Now, because these are private properties, homeowners have to actually opt into the program, which multiple people did just in time. But the county says that 90% of homeowners said they didn't want to participate, mostly because of how these sandbags look.
We do think that people who may have opted out before might want to get into the program now. A few of the areas like the retreat are already done though. So there are a few areas that we're doing currently. And so there is maybe the opportunity that a few of those might change their mind.
Now, Larimer County is also trying to protect homes from the air with aerial mulching. That's really an effort to prevent erosion as well as protect the quality of water there. Anything they can really do to keep the soil from moving the earth. But what they say they need most is time for the ground to regenerate and recover 2 years after the Cameron Peak fires. Just sitting on that giant burn scar right now, Corey.
Yeah, that aerial mulching is really great, but it's super expensive. So
yeah,
like you said, it's really just going to be time.
Yeah, absolutely. And time, certainly, I mean, you think 2 years, but that really just shows you the impact that fire had. I mean, it burned for about 2 months now.
Boy, is that true. Jordan, thank you. At least one person was killed in a plane crash in Boulder on Sunday. Investigators are expected to continue their work and investigation today. The plane crashed in the woods near Left Hand Canyon Drive, sparking a wildfire. The Federal Aviation Administration says 4 people were on board the plane. So far, authorities say at least 1 person is dead. The crash sparked this small wildfire in the heavily wooded area. Firefighters got it under control quickly. The sheriff's office says they have not been able to examine the aircraft due to the heat from the fire.
All evacuation orders have now been lifted for a fire burning in northern Colorado. According to the Larimer County Sheriff's Office, a cabin caught fire about 5 o'clock Sunday at Red Feather Lakes. The fire spread to a second nearby cabin and briefly to some grass. Initially, the responders sent out a mandatory evacuation order to most of the Red Feather Lakes area. That quickly was scaled back to a smaller boundary, and then it was lifted altogether. Firefighters say that wet grass in that area helped them get the fire out quickly. Damage was mostly to the 2 structures, and no injuries were reported.
If there's only one thing that I can tell you is there were multiple systemic failures.
Investigators in Texas released the results of a preliminary investigation into the shooting at Robb Elementary School. The report is a scathing critique of all agencies linked to the response. The report found police failed to prioritize saving the lives of innocent victims over their own safety. The investigation found almost 400 law enforcement officers arrived on scene. Most were from state and federal agencies. Just 5 were from Uvalde school police officers. The investigation highlighted the lack of command from anyone on the scene.
The fact that there was no overall commander outside the building where there should have been one should have been known by many. At a minimum, there was multiple opportunities, depending on the relative training and experience of law enforcement officers, to at least ask more questions.
The investigation also highlighted poor Wi-Fi connection in the building that likely delayed lockdown alerts and a lock on one of the classroom doors where the shooter went into that was known to be faulty. The city's acting police chief is now on administrative leave. An investigation is ongoing into whether Uvalde's City Police Department was supposed to take command. This morning, 4 people are dead and 2 others hurt after a shooting at a mall in Greenwood, Indiana. Yeah, Greenwood police said that the shooter is among those dead. Witnesses say they heard as many as 20 gunshots in the food court area. Police said that a Good Samaritan saw the shooting and shot and killed the shooter. The shooter is only identified as a man at this time. Police also said that he had a long rifle and several magazines worth of ammo. Panic on the Las Vegas Strip after false reports of an active shooter. Police say someone threw a rock at a glass door at the MGM Grand Hotel on Saturday night. The sound of shattering glass made people think that shots were being fired. Officers say one person suffered a minor injury after falling while trying to run away. The person who broke the glass at the MGM was taken into custody on charges of gross misdemeanor and destruction of property. In 2017, 58 people were killed in Las Vegas when a gunman fired shots from a hotel room onto a music festival. The Gun Violence Archive calls it the deadliest mass shooting in U.S. history. The Select House Committee investigating the U.S. Capitol riot expects to receive Secret Service text messages by tomorrow. The agency at first said that the messages had been erased. The messages are from January 5th and 6th, the day before and of the Capitol riot. We are also expecting to hear some new testimony from witnesses tomorrow. Right now, inflation is at a 40-year high. Prices are forcing some Americans to make some very brutal decisions. For many, that means digging into their savings just to get by. Gabe Cohen takes a closer look at the real-world impacts of these record inflation numbers.
It's huge. It's every week.
Rosita Klein now searches several grocery stores for the cheapest options, an inflation adjustment, as her husband battles Parkinson's, making these price hikes far more painful.
We are using our saving.
Are you nervous about the future?
Yes, of course.
Inflation in America surged in June, with some of the steepest price hikes from June of last year in places like Baltimore, Miami, Atlanta, Phoenix, and Alaska. The biggest drivers, gasoline up 60% in a year, and groceries up 12%, plus the largest monthly rise in rent since 1986. All of those price hikes are straining Karen Martin, a 911 operator near Tampa, Florida, and a single mom, raising 2 sons while making less than $20 an hour.
I'm not making ends meet. I'm not making it. I'm spending my savings. I get paid tomorrow, and already my whole paycheck is spoken for. And it's the first time in my life I've had to apply for food stamps because I don't know how we're going to continue eating groceries.
Consumer sentiment hit a record low last month, as new polling shows 42% of Americans are struggling to remain where they are financially, nearly double from a year ago, and 85% think the economy is getting worse.
Especially after COVID, nobody has money for anything, and now everything goes up higher and higher.
It's forcing families to make brutal decisions.
It's like, what do you want to eat or you want to drive?
Some foregoing bills or medications, many others turning to assistance programs like food banks.
We have seen skyrocketing numbers of people needing food, and unfortunately, we're not getting the same level in donations that we used to.
I try not to let it get to me. You know, I just go day by day.
On top of brutal price hikes, Bonita Wesley expects to face a sizable rent hike in the months ahead.
Would you be able to afford to stay?
No. Oh, no. No, indeed. Not at all. I probably would have to move in with my kids or whatever. But no, not by myself, no.
By one estimate, the typical American household is now spending nearly $500 more every month on the same goods and services. So even as gas prices dip, families are eating a lot of surging costs, with so many of them telling me their salaries just aren't keeping up. Gabe Cohen, CNN, Falls Church, Virginia.
All right, well, tickets for the Avalanche season next season go on sale in a little less than 4 hours. Opening night for the Avs at Ball Arena will be October 12th. That'll be against Chicago Blackhawks. The Avs plan to raise their Stanley Cup championship banner right before that game. This is the 5th straight season Colorado has opened at home. The schedule also includes a trip to Finland, and we have a rematch with Tampa, but you have to wait until February for that game. Single game tickets for preseason and regular season games go on sale at 10 o'clock this morning.